Yo, people, what's going on? Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are here for another episode of Rivals Talk. It's in the building. We got the Mandem in the building. We got Henry in the building. Henry, what are you telling me? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Obviously, Maddison announced in the last couple of days. So the transfer window is fully underway. Listen, big up everyone in chat, and yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
We got big up, man. We got man like Babs in the building, rattling people online. Every time I look on Twitter, Babs is always rattling people, man. So I got to give it to, I think it's the biggest troll on Twitter. But shout out to Babs anyway, man. It's all love, my guy.
Yes, my bro. Appreciate the invite as always, and I'm sure you enjoyed New York. I mean, I know Toby did, and Matisse did as well, looking at the vlogs.
Yeah, boy, they did. They enjoyed it more than others, you know what I mean? But we'll leave that for the vlog, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. Big up to Babs as usual. We got man like Roms. Roms, what you telling me? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I woke up to some good news. My club's finally stopped twiddling their thumbs, getting a bit proactive now. The Szoboszlai news, sure, we'll chop it up. But no, thanks for having me again, man.
Absolutely, man. Big up to you. And we got Charlie as well. I'm sure you've seen Charlie, Chelsea fan from Blues Fan TV, but he's also got his own channel as well. Charlie, appreciate you coming on, man. What are you saying? You good?
Yeah, all good, bro. Thanks for having me as always. Yeah, I'm just sitting back watching the money roll into the club, and now we can make some moves and start spending some of that cash, get Caicedo done, and kind of see what else we've got in store. But yeah, no, it's been a great start to the window. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, well, listen, we're going to talk about that straight away, man. Big up to everybody who's here. There's over 300 already in the building. Make sure you like the video, people. Hit that like button. Don't just air that button. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, but also subscribe to the Manlim. The links are in the description below. But let's talk about Mason Mount and whether there will be a sense of regret, selling Mason Mount. Charlie, start with you. You're a Chelsea fan here. Will you regret signing, like obviously selling Mason Mount to a rival who then can possibly be the difference for top four, etc., etc.? How are you feeling? Because there's a lot of people who don't feel like they're going to miss him in a sense.
Yeah, mate, it's one of them ones that divides the fan base massively. Obviously, like for me, is a massive sense of disappointment in terms of the fact that this is a kid that's been here since he's 8 years of age, has come through the whole ranks, played an instrumental role in winning the Champions League with his boyhood club, and yet they seemingly couldn't come to an agreement to extend his deal for him to stay at the club. Like that should never happen, you know. You shouldn't be in a situation where someone that's kind of like gone, as I said, gone through all the ranks, then can't reach an agreement with the club. That shouldn't happen. Look, it depends what you believe. There's so many different things that's been floated about in the media about what's actually happened. Yes, he did turn down contracts and that, but for me, I look at Chelsea and you know it's not all to blame on one side. It's both parties, maybe three parties or whatever you want to call it. But you know, you can't tell me that the actions of a club that want a player to stay is to offer him a 1-year extension in February and then offer him nothing else at all. Like that's terrible. You can't do that. You know, obviously, side at United, you've got De Gea, who's been at the club for years. And you know you sign the contract and they pull that offer. You can't operate like that.
Especially to one of your own, isn't it? Proper Chelsea.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what makes it worse. Look, whether you think he's like, look, you know, better players have come and gone than Mason Mount. We've been all right, but it's more for me. It's more the principle. It's one of your own, as you say, and you need a certain group of players at the club that get the club's DNA and knows what it means. You know, and we're getting rid of a lot of players. You know, realistically now we've got obviously Ruben Loftus-Cheek's gone out of the building. He came through the ranks. Callum Hudson-Odoi is going to go. Yes, we've got Reece James, who you know is a top player. It's great, but you need. He
rejected Arsenal yesterday.
He did, mate. You know, I think he knew what he was doing, mate. The Chelsea admin was earning his money last night. He was doing well. But yeah, it's disappointing for me because it just shouldn't happen. You know, it's like Rashford coming to Chelsea. Like you know, you couldn't agree a fee, like couldn't agree a deal for him to stay. Like that should never happen. You know, yes, Matt had a poor season and that, but the fact United won and the fact that Ten Hag was desperate to bring him in, that just goes to show you what sort of a player he is. You know, Arsenal were interested, Liverpool were interested at one point as well. You know, always look at a player. You know, when they're leaving, like what teams are interested. And yes, you're going to have people that don't like the player. That's fine. You don't have to like the player. But so many people are like reinventing the wheel, saying that he's shit. He's not shit. He's had a poor season. Every player is going to have a poor season at some point in time. I'm not saying that Chelsea are going to regret it and it's going to go and be like De Bruyne or Salah or anything like that. You know, we sold Juan Mata to United after being a back-to-back player of the year. And it never really went on to the heights that he was at Chelsea. So, you know, Mount's similar, not as good as Mata in my opinion, but it's a similar situation. And, you know, there's no guarantees that he'll do well at United. I think he'll fit in nicely. But for me, it's one of those things that could have just been so easily avoided. Yes, he's going to earn decent money there, probably slightly more than what we would have offered him. But obviously, something massive's gone wrong behind the scenes for an academy lad to come through the ranks and be here his entire life to not want to sign a new deal. So whether we're going to regret it or not is going to be a difficult question to answer, because I don't think we can answer that probably for at least 1 or 2 seasons time. But on the face of it, like I'll always say that no player is bigger than the club, and that is the case. Chelsea existed pre-Mount, with Mount, and it will exist long after him. But at the same time, this one kind of leaves a bit of a bad taste in the mouth, just because he's one of our own. He's been instrumental to our recent success. He's a back-to-back Player of the Year, which fans, say that he doesn't deserve. Yet the fans voted for it. So those two things don't add up for me. But yeah, for me, it's a shame. It's something that could have been so easily avoided, and it could be one that we regret. But ultimately, what is going to be the big difference is who do we get in to replace him? It's fine for these guys to go out the door, no problem. But you've got to be bringing in better players to replace them. There's no point bringing them out and bringing in a worse quality or just as good, because you might as well have kept kind of the previous guys. But yes, Mount at Chelsea was on poor money. I mean, say poor money comparative, like football terms. He was on, I think, 75, 80k. And like when you're in a dressing room and you're contributing a lot more than the likes of Kepa, the likes of Loftus-Cheek at the time. These guys on sort of two times plus the money you're on, and you're contributing way more than them. That's not going to sit well with you, and you have to feel valued. And at the end of the day, I don't. Despite the club saying, we desperately wanted him to stay. And I think Mount ideally would have wanted to stay, but obviously too much has gone on, and he felt that he couldn't stay, and he had to get out. But you've got to feel valued as a player. And this is the only contract. We extended Reece James quite comfortably, Broja, Chalobah, Chilwell, Thiago Silva, all no problem at all. But you get to the Mason Mount situation, and you can't agree on a new contract. Should have been the easiest one of the lot. So yeah, it's disappointing.
Yeah, that's true.
I know loads of Chelsea fans are happy, but at the end of the day, for the match-going fans, he was always one of the most popular in the stadium. He probably is not going to get a good reception, but I always wait until kind of all the facts come out, or as many of the facts as possible to come out before rounding on a player and making a judgment. But yeah, ultimately, mate, I'm disappointed by it.
Charlie, some of the shameless Chelsea fans are saying, well, he's not one of our own. He's a Portsmouth fan. So.
But if you dug back into every sort of player's fucking past, right? Players who play for Liverpool aren't Liverpool fans. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of them things. But when people don't like a player, they'll just pick.
They'll find anything.
They'll find anything. Yeah. You know what though, Henry? When you look at a player like that, I think he's someone who. I think he's got a bit of fire in him. I see him on the pitch sometimes. He's always moaning, or he's always, he's got that kind of bite to him in a sense. Do you think he'll do well at United, and should have Chelsea have sold him? What's your kind of thinking behind this?
If Tottenham did that, if we sold, quote unquote, one of our own, a rat or whatever you want to call it, to another Big Six rival, I think there'd be a lot more uproar. But where does he play in the United system? Does he? He
plays on an advanced 8. He plays in the 8 role.
You've got other players that can also slot in there as well. So I don't expect Mason Mount to go in and start straight away. I'd expect Ten Hag to say you got to fight for your place.
I think he does start.
He starts.
Yeah,
you
don't buy a 60 million player.
I don't know, man. I just look at Mason Mount and think 60 million? What do you really excel at as a player to take Man United to that next level? I don't know. I look at the signing as well and think 60 million, could you have got a better player? Man United screaming, yes, we've got Mason Mount. No, they're not. They're it's okay, but it doesn't get you on the edge of your seat. I think for Chelsea, I will say one thing. Obviously, I can't stand a football club, but their business of getting rid of players is elite. How they, every single time, not just this window, a couple of windows ago, they got rid of the likes of Abraham, Tomori and Zuma all in one window. They're so good at getting rid of players. They've got nearly £1 million off the wage bill. Nearly £1 million off the wage bill.
Crazy.
It's
crazy.
Listen, I'm very much on the fence. I'm going to do a Turkish here. I don't know what if Mount's going to... I'll be very surprised if he goes and sets the roof on fire. I think I'll be honest, I think he's going to struggle to really make an impact in that team, Because in the midfield,
Yeah.
in that 8 role, does he come in and go goals and assists? What's his best attributes? He's not a goal scorer. He's not an out-and-out
The best
playmaker.
attributes are off the ball. They're off the ball for me. When I look
Yeah,
at
but
him
does
and I
the
watch him,
off-the-ball stuff take United to where they want to be? No, it don't.
yeah.
For me, I'm loving it. I think it's going to be so frantic because, Saeed, you'll know better than me, but I think it's going to literally be Bruno and Mount, the 2-8s, and Casemiro kind of the single pivot. And for me, that is too frantic. I'm going to love it.
There's not enough stability in there for me.
Yeah, there's not enough at all.
Nope.
And I think as an out-and-out 8, I'd look at Sabitzer and go, okay, what do you offer? Well, straight away, he's better at shooting. I think he's a better long-distance passer. You might say Mount's got a better energy and got a better engine, but like also Maddison is a better number 8 for me and a better all-round player than Mason Mount. Could United have gone and got Maddison?
Yeah, but I think you know what it is. I think it's the manager. The manager's got a set target.
Yeah, because
he
he had a
wanted
few
this
good
Sancho.
games
He
at
wanted
the test.
Anthony. He went in for them. He wants Onana. When he wants a player, he goes in for him. This is a Ten Hag signing because he doesn't trust the board. With Arsenal, they've got Edu, they've got Arteta working together. They've got the football philosophy. He doesn't really trust the board to kind of get a different prototype in. Say now we miss out on the target. You then have the football database and you have the football kind of, pyramid to kind of help you out. Say, right, who can we get a similar? And
I
they
hear
go,
that,
right, we've got this player
at the
here.
same time,
And he comes
you
in.
lot have got a limited budget this window. The Glazers aren't going to go and chuck 200, 250 million at it. And spending 60 million of your budget on Mason Mount, for me, is like, you look at us, right? We're not going to go and spend 150, 200 million, right? But so far, bringing in Maddison, Vicario, and permanently signing Kulu, I don't care what anyone says, is great business. What we do now onwards, we'll probably capitulate and go and buy some other Wi-Fi password from some Eastern European country for about 800 grand. Right, but this is Manchester United, bro. This is the biggest club in the country.
Well, it's Man United by name. That's the problem. Yeah, it's Man United by name. HK Moose says Casemiro, Mount, and Bruno going to get Ten Hag sacked. Horrible retaining midfield. And Winter Surface says 2906-23, the day Casemiro leaves retired. Babs, you're a man who's on the tactical side of it. You know what I mean? You're part of the football tactical crew. What are you thinking? Would you want him in the Arsenal team? Would it work in the Arsenal team, or does it work in the United team when you look at what we're doing right now?
It would have worked better in the Arsenal team, and I would have taken him as well. I probably would have taken him over Havertz, to be honest. Because I think in terms of a number 8 profile, I mean, I'm saying that because I've not seen Havertz play as an 8 yet, but I think Mount's more suited to that. I think it's a good signing. My only concern is actually less Mount, more your balance, as we keep pointing out. I don't think Casemiro has the. Casemiro is a very, very good defensive midfielder, but he doesn't have the same ability to dictate play, like a Rodri can, for example. So with Arsenal, you got maybe a bit more of Thomas Partey, Jorginho, and potentially Declan Rice. It would have suited us a bit more to have him in our midfield. Yep. But you could see why he wouldn't want to go Arsenal, the whole rivalry thing. I understand that he's a proper Chelsea, as they would say. And he wants to go Man United. So, look, I think he could work well under Ten Hag. I think you look at Ten Hag's teams in Ajax, they had players similar, like Mount. They didn't really have standout attributes, but like you look at Donny van der Beek, he thrived under Ten Hag because of that, because he could run off the ball and he's very good. And we talk about the off the ball thing, and it's not going to take you to the title level, but you need to take that step in the first place. And I don't think you've got enough players that have that in them to work off the ball. I think it's a good signing. It's a decent price tag as well. And I think, what was he, 24 years of age? We've seen Mount at his best, and at his best, he was in a top system in Tuchel. So now you put him in the Ten Hag system, who I believe can produce that. I don't see why he can't thrive.
You know what as well, Saeed? You need to stop this notion of, he's 50 million, 60 million. Let's be honest, in the modern day, that's 10 years ago, about 20 million. I feel like 50 million, 60 million pound players now, they can come in as squad depth. They don't have to be instant starters anymore. So I do feel Mount does come into United and start, but what Henry alluded to earlier, I can understand why some fans might not believe he goes straight into start. He could be for squad depth.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up Mike says, I've seen Liverpool control possession, keep teams penned in with a midfielder, Fabinho, Hendo, Winnie, and Wijnaldum. Which one of those players would you classify as ball retainers? It's the system, not the players. Well, again, like I said to you, right now, the way we play is a lot of it is on the transition. So it does suit Mason Mount because then he can make them third man runs. He can, people say in them little half spaces, he's very, very good. Still, for me, I don't understand this technical language. I'm getting used to it, but
all the phases in that, like phase 4 and phase 3 and phase 5.
I didn't mention that.
Yes,
I just want to say.
Go on.
No, nothing. I was gonna say that. Yeah, this is Man United in phase 2, anyways. So.
Well, there you go, innit? Like, it's one of them, man. Like, I don't know what phase we are, to be honest. I just kind of say we're underperforming and we're underwhelming where we need to be. But
Do you know what I was gonna say
like
though? That Liverpool comment there. The difference is they had a front three with a false nine that can retain the ball. You don't really have that right now. Plus, they had Trent Alexander-Arnold making all the chances for them. So again, the profiles don't work as well. Yeah, the profiles don't work. And then also, I think we're forgetting how good a prime Fabinho was on the ball. He wasn't a bad player. It's just that his legs have fallen off over the past few years.
Yeah.
That's why for me, that's why I say at least bring Mount into a system that works for him, not kind of like.
Do you know where he would have thrived at United, or who you need more than we do? It's probably Declan Rice. You probably need him more than we do. And I'm not saying that. I don't think he's better than Casemiro right now, but I think if you're talking about on the ball ability, what did I just? I said I don't think he's better than right now.
But he will never be better than Casemiro ever.
No,
ever.
He can be better than Casemiro. I don't see why not.
No, can.
No, I'm not talking about having success in careers, right? I'm talking about the player, individual player. I don't see why he can't.
Because no, he won't. Like,
why do you think that?
Right now, he will never be better than Casemiro ever.
So you think Casemiro is just the creme de la creme, and no one can ever beat him?
Well, I'm talking about Rodri and Casemiro, but I'm talking about Casemiro right now.
Rodri's better than Casemiro, and by a mile. Rodri's better than Casemiro by a mile.
That's subjective.
Rodri's one of the best. I think Rodri's the best by a mile anyway.
Better than Busquets. So let's
we're not going back to 2010 here. We're talking about 2023.
Let me ask the panel then. Ask the panel. Will Declan Rice ever be better than Casemiro? Do you think?
Well, it's hard. It's hard to tell. He's 24.
I don't see
he's
why
24
not.
years of age.
Yeah, 24. How good is Casemiro at 24? I swear he was in Brazil still.
Bro, come on, man. Are you crazy? He came at Real Madrid in 2012, man. What do you mean?
Yeah, but he wasn't playing for them from 2012, was he?
Bro, he technically
he ain't gonna have his nowhere near his decorated career. But
yeah, I'm not saying he will. That's Real Madrid. Like they will win Champions League. You can have Francis Coquelin play for them. They'd still win trophies there because it's Real Madrid. But I'm just saying, in terms of the player, what's Casemiro's standout attribute? You're saying is defending, right?
He's a destroyer, isn't he? He's a destroyer.
So what's Rice's standout attribute? He's also a destroyer. But what Rice has is he's also a bit more secure on the ball and he can drive with the ball. Rice is definitely one of the highest players in the league in terms of carries.
One thing I would agree with you, Babs, I think offensively, Rice is better than Casemiro. Offensively.
Who do you think it would be better in a possession-based system?
Rice.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's why I think it'll be better. And I think Ten Hag wants to have a possession-based system.
Does that mean he's a better player? Does that mean he's a better player?
I'm not saying he's the better player now. I say he can become the better player. What do you know? In 3 years' time, Prime Rice might not be one of the best in the world.
Free. He said free, you know. He didn't even say 5. He said free. Crazy.
I could say next year, for God's sake.
Casemiro might be still a better player than Declan Rice. You know
3 years' time, Casemiro won't have any knees with Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes in front of him.
Wow. Listen,
I don't think Declan Rice will be better than Rodri in the next couple of years. I think
I don't think he will.
Yeah,
I think he's the best.
Yeah, but we're not talking Rodri here.
He's at the pinnacle.
Yeah, we're talking about Casemiro, not Rodri.
No, I'm just saying, like in terms of Rodri, like I don't know. I think Declan Rice, if you look at all of his abilities, I'd say it's difficult because he's only, what is he, 24, 25?
24.
Yeah, I mean Casemiro was so important to the way Madrid played for years.
He was.
But
who did he have in front? He had Modric and Kroos, ball retention. I'm not talking about players that just fired the ball off, right? So how is that going to work with Mount and Fernandes? Do you think Mount and Fernandes can replicate the Modric, Kroos type of midfield?
I don't think they could. That's what I'm saying. This is worrying for me. It is worrying.
But Saeed,
if Casemiro gets injured, who jumps in? Who's
Casemiro or for Mount?
Yeah,
who are you talking about?
If Casemiro gets injured, who goes in to replace him?
Fredo McTominay.
It's crazy. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We need Lavia. We need Caicedo.
They've not gone for Caicedo.
But Saeed, this is why I said to you many times. For me, the profile's just wrong. The profile you're identifying is wrong. You need more of a De Jong or Verratti, or more of a controller that can dictate the game.
Exactly.
That can take from the back four and then progress it. I think these eights are quite frantic and industrious. I don't think that's what United need right now.
Yeah, 100%. Olu says here, their bag is out there. Odegaard only costs 35 million. HK Moose said Declan Rice is not even better than Amrabat. He will never be better than Casemiro.
Amrabat, by the way,
he's a class player, but come on, man.
Amrabat showed him up, though.
Do you think Man City want Amrabat?
No.
Yeah, obviously.
I think only Spurs
But
and
it's still
Liverpool.
not
HK
really
Music
fair,
thinks it's better, so it must be. I mean, that's much more than Pep Guardiola.
Saeed, relax.
Yeah.
Might be the same guy that made. Hang on, Saeed, you compared Workhorse to Berbatov.
No, I didn't
my.
really compare him, but again, like I said, if that's
You're
what
not
they-
denying the allegations.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't really compare him, but listen, cook him, Henry. Listen, it is what it is, man. I didn't compare him. Mike says here, Eric Ten Hag uses goalkeeper centre backs to beat the press. We already have Lissandro and Onana coming in. Just watch how we keep teams pressing next season. Also, Cass got more goals and assists than Rice last year. Well, there you go, exactly. From a CDM
Do you think
position as
defensive
well.
midfielders are about goals and assists? You think Rodri's
No, but he just
defined
let
by
you know,
goals
though.
and assists?
But he's still letting you know the impact that he has at
Bro,
that
I'll be
age,
honest.
You know,
As a number 6 for top possession-based teams, is more about what you do with the ball in terms of keeping the ball, making it, moving it forwards, than it is scoring goals and getting assists.
yeah. All it says Carvajal has also 5 Champions League and he isn't great. Carvajal's a decent right back, but come on,
What do you mean he isn't great? Like, you're not playing in that team year after year after year.
man.
if you're a bad player.
Man.
But I think what
Yeah,
he's
he is
saying
a
is
good right back.
he's successful. He's probably had better careers than some other players, but he's not better than them, is he?
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, if you're looking at the likes of Salgado and them, man, and top like right backs there were in the past, but he deserves to stand on his own 2 feet because I think he's been a decent right back for Real Madrid. HK Moose says Barca want Amrabat, they definitely don't.
Because they're broke.
Rice.
That's why they can't afford
Can't pay
Rice.
for him, yeah.
You can't afford anyone, to be honest with you, right now.
Of course, they
You
want a
can't
cheaper
afford,
player.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, 1.2k in here. Make sure you're liking the video. I want a kind of minimum of 500 likes. So please hit the like button right hand corner. Let's talk about Timber. What are you saying, Babs?
What are you saying? Because you probably know more than I do. You scouted him all of last year.
He's a very good player, man. That's what I'm saying to you.
Give
You
me
know
the
what's
report,
crazy,
go on.
Sky? Our clubs were linked stronger than him than Arsenal were. That's the craziest thing. Liverpool and United look more likely to get him than Arsenal did. This, I think, is very shrewd from Arsenal.
Yeah, so it's a very good signing. And it's
Where's he
also
gonna
value for
play,
money.
though?
Right back. It'll be
You
right
think he'll
back.
start backs or more for depth?
anywhere,
Do you know what I'll say? Right, with the way Arsenal need to go to, it won't be about starts. It'll be about minutes. So you might literally have him coming on late in games. Not even like late. We're talking about 35 minutes left, 40 minutes left. Because I think next year we talked about Arsenal this year, and the massive failure was we didn't compete in every front. You know, man, that's because we didn't rotate players enough. I think now when you've got the quality of a Timber and then a Ben White, you can go, you know what, Ben White's having a poor game, I can bring Timber on. And I think that's what it's all about now, is having options in different games. And, you know, he'll probably start 20 games this next year, but across all competitions, not just in the Premier League.
Do you think he's
Yeah,
better than
absolutely.
Gabriel?
Is he better than Gabriel? No.
Yeah.
Because
think
first
so?
things first,
Nah.
firstly, he's not a left-sided centre-back. And secondly, he's not really as powerful in the air. I actually think people talk about his ability to play as centre-back. He might be able to play there. But I think what will happen is, if Saliba gets injured, you'll have Ben White move to centre-back and then Timber play as a right-back.
Yeah.
Because that's
What about Tomiyasu? What he's done with him?
No, I'm not done with Tomiyasu. He just can't stay fit right now. And if he can stay fit, he's another useful player. You got Tomiyasu who can play centre back, left back, and right back. So again, you got quite a few like Swiss Army knife type of profiles.
Yeah, and also you got adaptability in your system. Like different players can play different
profiles.
positions now, which is always what you need in it. And especially when you're winning titles, when you're trying to go for trophies, you need players that can just maneuver in different positions. And Timber is a quality asset to have. Right back, can play midfield, can play centre back. You know what I mean? Could even possibly play left back if you wanted to. Because
I heard some Ajax fans say he can play in midfield. So
He can play DM.
There you go.
yeah, there you go. So again, you're getting another player who's able. He improves the entire squad by one signing. For 35 or 40 million pounds, decent.
And you know what? He's added
Yeah.
Champions League experience because the vast majority of
22,
your squad's not been there for the last 5-6 years. So that's another good advantage he comes in with.
Yeah, I think he was a captain at one stage. He's not captain of the club, but like he's captain them at certain times. So clearly a good profile. And I like the fact that he's very selective. He could have gone to Bayern, but he's like, you know what, I fancy Arsenal over. He could have gone United last year, but he was told not to go there. So I think he's a very wise player. He's not just a player that just goes, first offer comes in, I'm going there.
Yeah. Big up Mike. He says, Bav, you literally said Rice was better than Cass going forward, which is false. That proved it last
I didn't say
year.
that. And he probably is better, by the way. I didn't say that.
Yeah. Big up HK Music. My guy says this is the problem with Arsenal fans, always gassing up their silence when it doesn't work out. They start giving excuses. How can we discuss Declan Rice and Casemiro in the same sentence? Let's not do this.
They are in the same sentence. They are. Right now in 2023, they are. I'm not talking about careers here. That's very clear. You need to differentiate careers here. Declan Rice last year was one of the best defensive midfielders in the league, even though West Ham were 16th, 15th. The year before that as well. We're not talking about Rice for like 1 year here. Rice has been a top player for 2, 3, 4 years. It's a fact.
Still though, man, you still want to compare it like it's like I don't know.
I'm not comparing them as players, but he's in the same echelons. Rice is top 5, no?
Would you compare Jesus to Haaland?
No, they're different profiles.
No, but I'm just saying as a striker wise. You know what I mean, like,
no, because Haaland's better. Haaland's factually better.
There you go then, and Casemiro.
But I don't think it's that clear nature of Casemiro. Rodri is Casemiro, man.
Bro, it's clear.
Okay, we'll see next season. So why do you want Caicedo so badly then? If he's so amazing and he's the best ever. Why are you ducking my question, bro? What's that? If he's the best in the world, keep him and don't sign Caicedo.
Okay, let me ask you a question, and then you can. Is Declan Rice world class?
Not yet.
I never said not yet. Is he world class? Yes or no?
So obviously, if I said not yes or no.
Okay, so is Casemiro world class? Yes or no?
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Oh my days, man!
I'm not falling for this Francis Coquelin-esque hype he's getting. Top player at Real Madrid, by the way. But what's happened with United fans is what happened to Arsenal fans in 2016. We had one first defensive midfielder. We used to hype Matthew Flamini, for God's sake. That's because he can tackle, he can do that. Now, next year, right, when you're trying to actually win games of football by dominating games, and you need a player that can keep the ball, you're going to find out what Casemiro is actually like.
I mean, again, like everyone has limitations, isn't it? Like everyone, like there's not one player in world football that has not to have limitations.
Yeah, but his limitation is what you need the most as a midfielder: ability to retain the ball.
Now, let me ask a question. So, what's changed in 1 year for him not to be world class? Because I'm sure you were saying he was world class when he was at Real Madrid. Surely,
because he was a part of world class players, so he's allowed to become world class. Because then, look, when you've got the ball retention ability and the ability to progress the ball like Modric and Kroos can, you don't need to have this Casemiro to have the ball out. And also, his numbers at Real Madrid were better as well in terms of on the ball.
Do you know what, Babs? Yeah, I despise United, but he's literally been their difference maker. He elevated them, exactly. Not levels above, but he was
That doesn't make him world class, though, does it?
I still think.
Do you think Saka's world class? No. Do you think Odegaard's world class? No.
And he's pivotal in them winning a trophy and making Champions League. I think if they don't have Casemiro, I think they don't do them things. Honestly.
Yeah, so good players do that. Good players improve the team
to make that difference. No,
they do. I'm not saying he's not a difference maker. World class is a big statement.
He is a difference maker, though. He was part of the reason why we won the trophy that season, and it's a big part of the reason why we made third position. He's a difference maker.
But he could have won.
Easy cut off as well.
Your internet's bugging, my friend.
He's got some Weetabix connection.
You there?
Yeah, I'll be back. Yeah, I'm still there. I'm back.
Yeah, go on.
It's like you could have won League Cup without Casemiro. Easy.
No, but the thing is, yeah.
Sorry, they couldn't beat Nottingham Forest and Reading. Oh, difficult. Wow.
But the thing is, yeah.
So
what
hard.
I'm trying to say is, but the same way he's nitpicking at Casemiro, I then have to obviously.
I'm not nitpicking. He's just not world class anymore. What's that about?
Because at the end of the day, you're trying to say there's some certain limitations to his game, and you don't believe he's world class anymore.
That's why he's not world class.
Casemiro's been a linchpin in what Man United have been doing this season. He's shown his world class abilities. He has been world class for so many part of the season.
Do you classify the top 5 in each position as world class?
Yes.
Can you name
he's not my top 5
DMs than Casemiro?
In the world,
who's your top 5? Let's
in the world, 5 better defensive midfielders. Now, what we're talking about defensive midfielders here, we're talking defensive midfielders for a lower league team that can win the ball back and that's it. We're talking on the ball. My definition of a top number 6. A number 6 we're talking here, not just talking a defensive midfielder, a number 6 position, right? Rodri's better than him, and by a country mile. I'd say Thomas Partey is still better than him. I still believe he's a better player. Yeah, I still believe he is. And the only reason
you're about to sell him.
But you know why? You know why we're selling him.
Oh, so now it's you know why.
No, it's because he's got 2 years left on his contract and we're getting a good offer for him.
What is this, man? What is this?
No, I think Thomas Partey is better on the ball. Bro, if tomorrow I was given the opportunity to sign Casemiro or keep Thomas Partey, I'm keeping Thomas Partey. He's better on the ball. I don't want no hoofball midfield, bro. I don't want that.
Right, Rodri for me is the best DM in the world.
Kimmich is better as well.
Nah, not
Kimmich is not better than Casemiro. Oh my.
Not anymore.
bro.
No, but let him finish. Let him finish.
If you're not going to give me Kimmich, I'm not
I'd
even going
agree
to
with
continue the
that.
list.
I would agree with that, Fab. I would have
You're not gonna-
Kimmich. So,
Yeah, if
Kimmich
you're not going to give me
Casemiro.
Kimmich,
That's fair.
yeah, I'd have Kimmich.
I'm not
Chouameni's
slandering.
better than Casemiro.
I'm not.
No.
Yeah, he's not.
No.
Yes,
That's
Yes,
too.
he is. Yes, he is. What Chouameni play, my friend?
Chouameni's
Watch
a
him-
baller. I'm
watch
watching
Chouameni at the World Cup.
Trust me, when he was linked to us, that's when I started watching him.
Chouameni's better than Casemiro.
He's
2023 is better than Casemiro. He is.
No, I think that's
For
too
what?
early.
By the way,
Oh my
I'm
God.
saying for
You know
what
what,
you
we're
need
gonna
him
move
to
on.
be,
We're
a
gonna move
possession-based player, he's better.
This possession. Look what Arteta's done to you.
Okay,
lot.
don't worry. It's fine. It's fine, Side.
Get all
It's
this
Arteta. It's
possession, man.
Arteta's
Who's
fault
the
now,
better
right?
player?
But next year, when you're screaming, "Where was Caicedo? Where was Rice? We should have signed him," right? Then
don't
we're gonna
think like
find
that,
out
by the way.
about possession-based system. We're gonna see that then.
we need
Don't.
to-
I want to be hearing
yeah.
the same energy at end of next season when you're going, "Oh, who's the number 6 we're gonna sign now?" Because Casemiro can't keep the ball.
No, we need backup. There's a difference between he's
Backup.
not good
So you
enough
think
to-
Caicedo's a
you also
backup?
need a backup to everyone. You need a squad, right? Like you said before.
You
Tim
do.
was a squad, right?
You think
there you go.
Caicedo's a backup?
No. He could play alongside Casemiro,
Alongside
alongside him.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? And then there's so much to Caicedo's game that we don't realize. He could do a lot. I think for me, him in the midfield, him together, then you have Bruno and Mount as a 10, whoever you kind of choose from. It can work. There's balance. That's why for me, when we look at the 2-8s what we're doing right now, I don't think it'll give us balance. But anyway, we need to move on. Caicedo and Enzo is going to be Fuego. Where are we on now? Here. 1 second. These are the same men that said Partey was better. Now they want to get rid. Allow it. Casemiro carry United both defensive and offensively for the past season. He's definitely world class. Stop the waffle.
Offensively as well, you know.
The English hype strikes again. Cass is on another level, said Big Benz. Look at Casemiro's career. Babs, are you sleeping? He's been one of the best. He's been part of one of the best teams all ever. I am also a Madrid supporter and see them every day. Casemiro was a big part of Real Madrid. He made
He
Cruz
was,
and
not
Modric a
denying
lot
that, am
better.
I?
And that's one thing that he didn't even say as well. He was a difference as well for them as well to
No,
allow
he
them
was.
to play
I'm
as
not
well.
denying that. But we're talking about Casemiro at Manchester United, not Real Madrid.
But he's been a what's he been doing? Just playing
No,
pool?
but he's not been the same quality of player. But because Casemiro he's a facilitator. He's not going to be the best player in the team. He can't ever be that. He's not as good to be that, by the way. And so at Madrid, when you've got top, all-time great players next side you, I'm sure anyone look good. I'm sure you look good in midfield with him.
I think he actually made the reverse effect. I think he lifted the levels of the players around him.
Bro,
Like,
he's a good player, and good players will always raise the level. But world class is a big statement in 2023. World class means Man City would sign him. Man City wouldn't sign him. World class means Arsenal would sign him. Arsenal wouldn't go near him.
But the only reason why you wouldn't go near him is because of how you play.
That's what
the
I'm
only
saying,
reason.
though. Why do people not see
his
how
actual
I see? This is why maybe I see football in a different way than maybe someone else does. Because I have my own style of football, and then you have your style of hoofball and long ball and
But
slow
there's
seat. I
still
don't know.
logic. There's still logic though. There's still understanding that world.
Bro, if you want Casemiro to be
what?
what? If you put Casemiro in the Fulham system, he looks world class. You put Casemiro in Man City system, he won't look anywhere near as good.
Okay, listen. I think for me, there's too much terminology going on. I feel like now
It's
we're
too difficult.
We're
Maybe I
changing
need to
the
slow
kind
down.
of description of world class. So we're gonna move on. And don't trust these Arsenal fans in judgment on who is world class. They are calling Partey best team in the world. Now they're trying to ship him most to do the fan base. Rodri better enough. Saeed in Poland for holiday for my 40th, but still going to tune into a show. Still need United need a CM after Mount panel. Any suggestions? For me, it's Caicedo. I think Caicedo would be the one for me, but I don't know what the club are looking for. I don't think we're going to buy another midfielder. It's sad, but it is what it is, man. The mods in there are a bunch of jokers. See examples, being respectful to the panel. How does it make sense? Not a good look for the channel. Yeah, guys, come on, man. Like I said to you, this is all about a debate. So please keep the chat respectful as possible. Like I said, man, you're not going to agree with everything we're saying, but we're talking football here. We don't take it personal. So please, guys, keep your opinions respectful. Always, man. No matter what the situation is, keep it respectful. Simple. Listen. And then last super chat says Arsenal don't have any world-class players. Stop the waffle. Casemiro is better than any Arsenal player. Listen, we're going to move on from Arsenal. We're going to talk about Liverpool. Szoboszlai, chat to us. And by the way, there's 1.5k there. Get the likes up. Let's get it to 1,000 likes, people, man. Please hit the like button. Szoboszlai, chat to us. Roms, what are you saying?
Right, this is a player who, me personally, and I'd say majority of our fan base as well, when we first got linked to him in 2020, I believe, just after lockdown, it's a player that would have suited us. We all know how how our owners are in not really supporting Klopp when they need to. And I've always said he is the perfect profile for us. And we've not had a player stylistically as similar to Coutinho as Szoboszlai. And when I say Coutinho, not the finished article of Coutinho, early days Coutinho.
Yeah, early days.
I think last season he got double digits in goals and assists. And I know a lot of people look at his overall spell at Leipzig, but the first year he was injured. He was predominantly injured for the majority of that season. What I'm most excited about is him and Trent in the midfield, because what we struggled a lot last season was breaking down teams, especially low blocks. And I think that right-hand side now, we've been screaming for a right central midfield that's kind of that A ilk. This is why, even when we were linked with Mason Mount, I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get him, because anyone that can be Hendo's successor in them half spaces will be amazing. But now, missing out on Mount, and this still should get done, it's looking like we 100% got the better end of the stick. But I'm over the moon of this signing, honestly, because we don't have a lot of goal-scoring midfielders. If anything, we don't have any. And the only one that has the ability to score from distance is Trent. But because of the positions he picks up in that right-back role, I'm not speaking about the back end of last season, because once he plays that inverted role, then he does take quite a few shots. But Szoboszlai will add to our goal-scoring midfielders. Also, we don't rotate Salah a lot, because for me, we don't have that adequate right forward that if we put him on, the golfing class is quite big, but he can also play the right forward positions. Under Marco Rose, sometimes they played a 4-4-2 before Nkunku got injured and he was on that right. And I think sometimes when we need to rotate Salah, he can play that first position, because we tried Harvey Elliott there and for some reason or another, it's not really worked. He's not been that explosive. I think he wants to play a bit more centrally, but I'm over the moon with this signing, honestly, and it makes the right-hand side, because I think a lot of Liverpool fans want to buy an out-and-out right-back, but for me, I still think you keep Trent there, because it takes away a lot of his creativity. I wouldn't want him to just start in that midfield role, because the back end of last season as well, a lot of fans say Liverpool looked brilliant in this role, but we were playing weaker teams, and the one good team we did play that suffocated him was Arsenal in the first half of Anfield, and they kept cutting us open. The minute Arsenal let us have the ball second half, that's when you started seeing Trent flourish. And in the next 6 or 7 games, teams were just sitting back. But I'll still have Trent in that. When we're on attack, he can then come into midfield. But I think defensively, I still want him in that right. But Szoboszlai is very industrious as well, because a lot of our success when we won the Champions League and Prem, when Trent would go forward, Hendo would cover. A lot of fans haven't done their research, because I've seen today on the TL, but once Trent goes forward, can he even cover for him? He is very industrious, so he can also take up that position. But I'm over the moon with this, honestly. I'm over the moon, and I just think this brings our creation up to the next level. I do still think we need a left-sided centre-back and a DM, because if our window stopped here, I wouldn't be happy. I still think we need a defensive-minded midfielder, whether it's I don't think he'll be Kone anymore, because he's got, I think, quite a serious injury. I don't think he's going anywhere now. But a Kefren Turam, because for me, McAllister and Szoboszlai are still quite offensive thinking. And Fabinho, he will get to a good level, but he won't get back to his best. I still think Fabinho starts for us personally. I think if a DM comes in, there'll be more of his understudy. Unless he keeps producing stinks, I still think Fabinho will be our starting player. But I think Szoboszlai is a great addition, and it's what we've been crying out for. Set pieces will add to goals, will add to creativity. And the fact that if we're being honest, Newcastle's more of an appealing project right now, and they got Champions League. The fact he's turned down them for us shows we've been speaking to him, and he does still... Listen, when you're a big club, it still will speak. Yes, we don't have Champions League football, we still do have that pool. But I just hope we get this done now, because I've seen this with Fekir. I don't know if you don't remember Fekir Fridays.
Yeah,
we had an announcement video for him. I just want this over the line before I get happy, but I do think this will get done. I do think it will get done.
Yeah. Big up IS's issue with Arsenal is their image amongst rival fans. They will never have a better player than other rival players until they win something big. And according to Babs, McLean was a world class then. But you know what? I think it's a good player, this player. Both footed. In terms of the dead ball specialist, he's unbelievable. Yeah. Left foot, right foot. He's very comfortable on the ball. Technically, very, very good. I think it's a good signing, adaptable in multi positions. Can play across the front three if he needs to, play that midfield as well. So I think it's a good player, man. Henry, you know much about him? Have you watched him before? What are you saying? Would Tottenham link with him? Would you have taken him as well?
Yeah, I think most teams will take him. It just makes sense for Liverpool. It's just a good signing overall, and it's something to look forward to because Liverpool have been very much this system which heavily relies on the press and on the break attacking. You get a new dimension with these sort of signings, like McAllister as well. Both of them in early doors is unbelievable business. Like, let's be real about it. No one thought that. I actually thought Liverpool would struggle this window because I think Klopp. There was a lot of pressure on him to do this rebuild again. Can he go again? And he's McAllister, and I can't pronounce his name, so I'm just not going to bother. The signing.
Szoboszlai.
That's the one. But I think
Score him Dominic. Score him Dominic.
Yeah, or Dominic. Yeah, there you go. It's a good signing overall. They should be happy. I still think there's a few defensive issues like the left-sided centre back and the DM. They are going to be the more important buys, but it's a squad game, and Liverpool now with a few more players. I think they'll breeze through the Europa League until the later stages. Rotation's going to be key. I don't know. Like, apparently there's a report coming out that Eric Dyer's going. So that makes me over the moon. That does. Like, that makes me over the moon.
Just come out now. You just seen it now.
Yeah, someone just messaged me saying Dyer's going.
I thought he was getting a new contract.
If he gets a new contract, that's criminal. That's like, let's be real. Eric Dyer, how many Premier League clubs does he start for? 0.
Spurs.
Nah, none.
0.
None.
That's the answer. 0.
Maybe Luton. Luton might want a bit of
No.
experience.
Luton have got better centre backs than this guy.
Everton.
No.
Yeah, probably Everton. Sean Dyche, back three. Yeah, I reckon
still better
Everton.
than Dyer.
Yeah. Abdishek says using radar chart on data MB, it compares
Data
any
map.
two players. Like Bruno is only a little bit better than Szoboszlai, only in forward passing. Okay, fair enough. I didn't know that one. And Mike says, "Lol, man, I'm gassing. That man, I'm praising Szoboszlai for the same thing that Mount does.
No.
The irony.
Mike,
Szoboszlai's game is a bit more refined, though, isn't it? Like, it's a bit more refined, this game.
Mate,
How much have you guys seen Szoboszlai play before you say that?
he was linked.
I've
with-
watched it quite a bit.
You might have seen a highlight here and there, but I wouldn't say there's that much difference between both players. I'd still say Mount's a better player. Szoboszlai is a great name. It sounds amazing. Szoboszlai, he's out of the Premier League. I think Mason Mount gets a bit of tax because he's English sometimes.
He
Well,
was linking up well with
probably that
Nkunku
fault.
last season as well for Leipzig. Like him and Nkunku were decent link up as well.
He's a good player.
And it's
But
not
he plays
even
out
that
wide
wide.
though. He don't play midfield. He plays more out wide. That's one thing.
No. What he was doing when Nkunku, before Nkunku got injured, he was out wide. But once Nkunku, I think, had a 3 or 4 month layoff, he then came into the central areas and yet excelled. That's when his stats were actually. I'm not really a guy, but that's when his stats started to improve. And this is why I say he's got a lot of versatility because he can play that 8 role or he can play out wide. Because under Marco Rose, they went to early in the season it was more of a 4-4-2 or 4-2-2-2, and then they went to kind of like a 4-3-3. But I would say in response to that super chat to Mike, I'd say watch him a bit more because I agree with Baz. There's not much difference between him and Mount, but from what I've seen, he's a bit better than Mount. But with that being said, Mount's been playing in a harder league, so maybe it is premature to say.
That's true.
I would say he has a bit more ability than Mount from what I've seen, and I do rate Mount. I'm not one of these people that don't. I rate Mason Mount, but Szoboszlai is a ball and hopefully he comes and proves it. That's the only way to silence the critics.
Yeah, let's see what happens with that one. But like I said, I think Szoboszlai decent sign, but it has to be done today, though, innit? It has to be done today, though, innit?
Yeah, because the 70 million euro release clause expires today.
70 million.
Always,
Yeah, exactly. It's got a release clause of 70 million euros. Expires today.
Wait,
and
that's
then
not
after
happening,
that, I don't know how much.
I also read though. It will be typical FSG and Schmatker as well. Remember, that's our new director of football who's come from the Bundesliga. So he's mainly working the magic with this. Apparently now, what I've read, we're not even trying to activate the release code. Apparently we're trying to just negotiate a fee. So that tells me we're trying to probably get them a bit cheaper than the actual release clause. But if not, I would just say do the sensible thing and just activate it and get this one over the line. Because like I said, after tomorrow, I think, by tomorrow, then they can literally demand the price, and you already know our club. Once they put a certain price that we don't agree with, say that again.
Would you not pay? What would be your maximum amount you'd pay for Szoboszlai?
Me personally, or the club?
No, you personally.
in this market, no more than 70 million. No more than 70.
Yeah, I'd say that. You know
I'd say
what?
I'll cap
Havertz
it at
kind of
70.
messed it all up. Because if Havertz is worth 65 now in this market, then really, if you say 75 million for a player like Szoboszlai, it's not too bad. You know what I mean? Like when you think about it, because Havertz has gone for 65 million, which is crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but before Szoboszlai did it,
not throwing any shade.
before Szoboszlai did
for
it
what
in the
he's done,
Bundesliga, Havertz did it there as well. So who's to say
Yeah.
you can't be the next Havertz in that sense?
But Leipzig will want to keep hold of him as well. So they've lost Nkunku. They're going to lose Vardiol as well to City probably,
Yeah.
and then they're
Yeah,
going to
no pressure to
lose
sell.
Szoboszlai
They've
as
lost.
well.
They've lost Nkunku and
Yeah.
Lima as well. They're selling their
And
stars,
Lima, yeah.
but
bro,
we've got good
Lima
relations.
was the one.
Because today, Carvalho's gone the other way as well. We've got very good relations with them. So
You bought
I can see this.
Cater, is it Cater off them?
Yeah,
Cater as well. We got Cater as well. So we're known to have quite good relations with them. But I do feel this will get done. But I think we're going to pay installments or try and actually agree a fee instead of just paying a release clause. From what I've been reading in the last hour or so.
Yeah, because that's what we done with Jackson. Like you pay a little bit more than the actual release clause, and then you structure it in more favourable payment
It
terms.
makes more
So,
sense.
like,
Though. Release clause
yeah.
is paid in one installment, so you don't want to do that.
No.
You don't want to ever just pay 60 million up front.
No.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Szoboszlai's ball striking is some of the best in the world. Yeah,
He hits
there
the
you
ball
go.
so clean, so clean. But I'm saying that I don't want to.
Tesco.
Say that
Yeah, go
again.
on, bro.
I was
There's a guy
going to
called
say.
Benjamin Sesko.
Yeah, but the way they actually strike a ball, but I'm one of these fans where I don't want to put a damper on it. If it's all good him doing it in Leipzig, I want to see him come to my club and do this stuff. You know what I mean? But he does, and even for Hungary, like firing them to the Euros. I remember he scored in the last minute, even against England. He's the cap. That's another thing. We're also bringing in a leader because he's the captain of this country at 22 years of age.
Hungry, innit?
It seems like he thrives under pressure. He played well against City at the Etihad, so there is good indication from this player.
Yeah, guys, there's only 479 likes and there's 1.6k in here. That's disgusting, man. Guys, just like the video, people, man. We've given you a sick show, yeah. Hit the like button. It's free to do so. I know some of you are shy finding the like button, so just hit the like button, bottom right hand corner. It's got a thumbs up button. Hit the like button. DJ's coming from Babs. He's saying Babs chatting about keeping the same energy. This is the same guy that's sliding Havertz weekly and is now doing a prop. His shameless need is sickening. Listen, if he's
Find me the
shameless,
weekly
then it's okay,
slander,
innit?
and I am shameless. I agree, but find me the weekly slander. Maybe one tweet years ago. Go for
Have
it.
you done a Maddison and deleted your tweets or something?
No, I love Maddison. I think he's a good player.
We need to talk about Maddison today because that's the best sign.
Let's do it. Go for it, bro.
Great signing.
I think personally, when you look at respective to what each club needs, I think that will be the sign of the window. We haven't had a playmaker in 4 years, and 19 goal contributions in a team last year that was constantly changing. Dakar, Vardy, whoever the hell they had up front. I think Maddison's going to be unreal for Tottenham. Like, obviously, I'm going to be biased, but I just think he adds everything. We haven't had a set piece taker or anyone that can pass the ball in the last 4 years other than Harry Kane. And Harry Kane's not going to be dropping so deep now. He's going to be in the penalty area. We're going to get the poacher that we saw when Eriksen was there. Like, £40 million, and we're paying it over 4 years. There's only an upfront fee of £8 million. Like, that's... I give Daniel Levy a lot of stick, right? I'm very vocal, but Vicario for 18 million euros, James Maddison at 40, permanently signing Kulu. Now we're apparently going to get Van der Ven and Tapsoba before the end of July. I'm not saying I don't think we'll get top 4, but it's a good window, and Maddison's going to be, for me, I think he's going to be unreal. Just give him that number 8 shirt. Harry Winks is gone.
You know what's one of the biggest testaments to Maddison? Bar City probably gets in the rest of the top 6. Bar Man City's team.
Easy.
And that's how you know that's an indication of a very good player, because especially Newcastle. If Newcastle now looking like they're going to miss out on Maddison and Szoboszlai, they're probably scratching their fingers like, oh my God, we should have been a bit more proactive with this, because 2 of their top targets are now.
What's with Newcastle? Apparently the FFP is still a bit.
Yeah, they can't buy any more players until they sell players. But he wanted the London move, and Chelsea and Arsenal both didn't want him. So he's going to be thinking.
I don't understand it though. They didn't spend
anything on
him.
I think 90% of Premier League teams would take James Maddison, and the beauty of it as well is if we get the thing is I'm worried about is we need a number 6, right? I want Amrabat because Bentancur is going to be injured and not fully fit until January. People forget that.
Well, so January?
Yeah, he's done his anti-crucial ligament.
I thought it was
when did he get injured though?
September. I didn't know.
They said he got injured in March, and they said it's going to take 10 months.
Oh, in March.
So he'll be recovered from his injury back in training towards the end of November, December. He's not going to be. There's a difference between being fit and match fit. He's not going to be match fit for 4 weeks.
And you know what, Henry? Yeah, I saw a photo. But the leg he's injured on compared to the other one, it's so thin now. Like he's going to have to build
it's
that
like me up against Eddie Hall. That's the difference in his legs. I think.
He might not be the same player, you know, Henry. He might not be the same player.
This is what I'm saying. That's why I want Amrabat. If we have Amrabat as the sweeping anchor number 6, Bissouma, he'll be like a new signing for us last year because he was constantly injured last year.
And Dombele's there as well. You know?
No, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Do you reckon Andrew put him back, integrate him back, and Dombele?
I'll be astonished if he's still here in August.
Yeah, you look at like. Sorry, look at Maddison, 40 mil, right? Look at Mount going for 60, Szoboszlai possibly 70 mil. Like that's such a good bargain as well. Like for a player of his quality, it's Premier League proven. Great, like contributes goals, assists. Is a clever player, picks up the pockets of space really nicely. You know, something that Spurs have been needing for quite a while. But mate, do you think it's enough to convince Harry Kane to stay?
I don't know if it's enough to keep Harry Kane to stay because he has to win a trophy.
Is that what you're spending?
Even if we spend 150 million to 200 million, I would question Harry Kane for staying because we're now going to be. I don't want to call it a build because we haven't won a rebuild because we haven't won anything. We're building. We're getting a new style of play. Like we've got a tough start to the season. We got Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, and Brentford and Burnley away all in our first 6 games. We could be in the gutter. But what's important is like Postecoglou. It takes the players 3 to 4 months to learn his system. We're going from a manager where we've watched Brexit football to champagne football. That's not a change overnight. It's going to take. Look at Arteta, for instance. It's taken him 2 years to fully get his ideas across. But our fans aren't that patient. As soon as we start, I know we might say, "Oh, you haven't won anything in 22 years," but if we're falling down to 12th, 14th, we've got to stick by it and go. Actually, like this could be something that could blossom into a winning team. Like. We're desperate for silverware. If we lose Harry Kane, Daniel Levy is probably looking at 90 million as the sweet mark, right? I imagine Bayern Munich are going to come in with an 80 million with add-ons. Who are you going to get for 80 million in this market who can score 30 goals?
This market, yeah.
Sure. No one.
Right, exactly.
Vlahovic, maybe Vlahovic.
Maddison,
maybe Vlahovic.
Nah, not for me. The 3 players I'd bring in to replicate Harry Kane would be Tony, Maddison, and a wide player. Right, but Tony right now, he's not going to be firing, probably not match fit till February. I'd just go and chuck a £40 million on Brentford and say, look, we'll take him off your hands.
Yeah, but you got R9 though. Don't forget that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not do that. It's not like the thing is as well. Like I can't believe I'm going to say this. Richarlison could do well in Postecoglou because he's a pressing player.
You could do well.
Like
you could have a second season madness.
We're looking at getting Alex Scott as well from Bristol. That'd be another good signing if we can get him. There's links to Harvey Barnes.
The midfielder, you mean?
He'd be a great backup if if Maddison gets injured. Well, people have got to remember we've got 1 game a week, so Postecoglou's gonna have a lot of time to get his ideas across. Same as Poch with Chelsea. Yeah, like
that's true.
I'm not saying that Chelsea are gonna go immediately and win titles, but he's got a lot of time. Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, City. It's like every game every 3 days, like every 3 or 4 days. Whereas us. I don't know, but that start, if you look at our start, it's disgusting. Brentford away, first game of the season. I don't know who won there last year. They beat Man City. They drew with us. They beat United. They beat Chelsea. Us. I think it was only Arsenal.
Only Arsenal.
We've not beat them since they come into the Prem.
Oh, so beautiful.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to start there. You do not want to play a promoted club in the first 6 games. Like
Brentford away first game is hard. I've been there. It's difficult, man.
Yeah.
So,
super chat here from Aya says here, if last season everything to go by, most fans have rubbish football knowledge. They love to overhype it because of their unfretted player perceptions. Well, there you go. Watch out, the football fans. In terms of other, like signings, where do you see next week? Because obviously we're looking for next week right now. I don't think anything happens over the weekend. Maybe Mount might get announced or whatever, or medical. But anything else, Babs? Anything else that you want? What's the latest in that sense?
I think Arsenal are going to get their 3 signings over the line. They've got 1 done, confirmed, Havertz. I think it'll be Rice. It'll be Timber first, then Rice. I think they'll do that in July because there'll be a start of a new FFP year. So I think that's what I heard today as well. They're trying to leave it for the next few days and announce it in the next few weeks or so. So I think Arsenal will get those 3 signings done within the next week. And then if you're asking me for more signings, they will happen towards the end of the window because they'll try to sell players then. So anyone that might be departing will be then negotiating, leaving and stuff. And 4th signing wise, I think it will be another midfielder if Pye is allowed to leave, and that could be anyone.
Should get Lavia. I think Lavia would be.
It's easier said than done though. And Lavia, you take up Partey and Xhaka, you're losing experience. You're bringing a 19-year-old.
Interesting who he goes.
You're trying to win a title.
Lavia.
It doesn't quite work as easy as that.
We're heavily linked to him as well. Speaking to him at the moment as well, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes. But I agree with Baz. I think it's very premature because I rate Lavia highly. He's actually one of my players to watch at the start of last season. But like Baz said, to sell experience and to bring in, let's be honest, he's quality, but he still is quite a novice. That he had one standout season.
Arsenal are going for titles. They're going to want a ready player now. Like I think Lavia, most Premier League clubs will be looking at him thinking squad player. You slowly bring him into the 11. Arsenal need that someone who's going to come in and cement that position instantly.
Yeah, I feel there'll be a surprise. I think there'll be a surprise in the sense of they'll sign someone that's experienced towards the end of the window that no one kind of knows about right now. He's not really a link out there, or he'll just trust Jorginho to replace Partey's experience. And Arteta loves Jorginho, and he might sign a Lavia then.
Before you go, Henry, obviously we're going to wrap it up soon anyway, but anyone that you're kind of looking forward to seeing in the team? Obviously, you got that centre back that's coming. Do you know about the centre back that's coming to your team as well?
My number 1 signing would be Tapsoba. He is like 6'3", 6'4", a monster. But like, I can't believe I'm speaking like this, but he fits the system. Like he's everything. The only thing you could say is he's not left-footed. He's right-footed. So we're also looking at Van de Ven, who holds the Bundesliga record for the fastest speed by any player, and he's a centre back. He beat that player. Is it Davis, the rapid guy, the Canadian left back?
Alphonso Davies.
This guy's a centre back, and he's the fastest player in the league. Like we're going to be playing such a high line. Our defensive line is going to be on the halfway line or in their half. So if we're lining up with players like Longley, Sanchez, and Dyer, one ball over the top and they're in. If you've got players like Romero, Tapsoba, Van de Ven, and then you've got Udogie and Porro, Bissouma, Maddison, and we get Amrabat, all of a sudden Postecoglou's going, okay, I've got the tools to do the job. Because how many windows have we... I can't remember the last time we bought a player in of Maddison's quality. That's probably the best signing we've made in 10 years. And people might say, what about Son? What about... No, I'd argue Maddison, because Eriksen grew into this player. Son grew into this player. Maddison coming now with, other than Harry Kane, he's got more goal contributions than any English player last 4 years. And he played for Leicester. Like, surely feeding Harry Kane, the numbers are going to go up. Like, just from everything, set pieces. But Van de Ven for me and Tapsoba, if we bring both of them in, I'd be well happy with that.
Henry, just before you go though, one thing I'd say is I think Spurs will have to wrap up the Van de Ven deal quite soon because we're prioritising Inacio, but we're also linked to him, and I think. Yeah. The Nasser deal falls through, I think he would pick us because apparently we'll go back in for him, and I think he'll pick us.
Well, you're a bigger club, aren't you? For starters, you're in European football with us. Levy wants to do 70% of his. I don't know. This is the number he said before our first game, and our first game's in 14 days. So I think in the next kind of 7 to 10 days, I think we could actually sign Van de Ven and Tapsoba if Sanchez goes, but. I mean, what are you going to get for him? 5 million if you're lucky. I mean, this guy,
yeah.
Like, if you look at our wage bill, right? Perisic is on 180 grand a week, and this geezer's 33.
That's outrageous.
Rip his contract up, save yourself 8 million, and see you later. Like Dyer.
Can I just say though, in terms of your fullbacks, I know you mentioned Udogie and you've got Porro as well. Aren't you a bit concerned that they're more wingbacks than fullbacks, and you're not really linked to any fullbacks right now? Yeah.
Wait, Spence is coming back as well, isn't it?
Yeah, Spence as well. Perisic is a wing back as well. You don't really have natural fullbacks,
do they? Porro to the wing. I think it will be him and Kulu can beat him for the right wing.
So who's the right back?
it will be Spence and Emerson. Now Emerson's good defensively, but going forward, it's non-existent. I mean, he can't cross a road, let alone a football.
Emerson's a more natural right back, though.
Spence, like, I mean, the guy got this move to France, didn't do anything. I think
he did all right. He did all right. He started.
We gave him a career.
Yeah, but we need another. If we're going to put Porro as a winger, we need to buy a right back as well. Like, who's the guy at Southampton that's
Walker Peters?
Walker Peters.
No, there's another one. Livramento. He can play both sides.
Yes.
He's going to Newcastle.
He's available for 12 million. And Newcastle.
You target that player at West Ham, Ben Johnson. He's good.
Yeah, but I mean, like with Postecoglou,
he can play on both sides as well. By the way,
we're going to go to a back three. So either the left back or the right back is going to join the midfield. Now, Udogie is like I'm not going to say he's world class yet, but he's going to be very good at doing both. I look at our right back. We've got Porro, who's good going forward, liability defensively, but then Royale's good defensively and a liability going forward. So we need a mixture. Like ideal world, I can't believe I'm saying this. We need someone like Ben White or Trippier. Like why did we sell Trippier?
Model.
Or Timber, you'd say.
Yeah, but listen, people, we're going to wrap up here, man. It's been over an hour. Zamias says here, why would Tony join Spurs? Pub team, he should join the Arthur's Revolution. Bryson leading us to the glory and Timber Saliba, the fortress at the Emirates. That's the best way to end the podcast. Rivals talk. It's been a lit one. Still 1.6K in here. Again, record numbers on this show. It's becoming a very, very popular show. So we want to continue. And big up to the panel as always. Henry, let them know where to find you. I think we'll do some content tomorrow, so hopefully we link up as well. So, Henry,
just send me right TV on all socials. I'm going to be on rants I was supposed to be there 6 minutes ago, so I have got to bounce.
Head over, people.
Henry right TV. If you're available tomorrow, say just shout me. But I've got a duck, so I'll see you all soon.
Love, big up to you, man. Big up to you. This super chat here. Listen, man, we know what you did, man. What you did for me is unforgivable. So see you later, mate. See you later. But Babs, what are you saying? Any content coming up? You're smashing it right now. I can't lie.
Yeah, transfers. That's it right now. Just everything transfer related, and obviously a bit of trolling on Twitter as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up my guy Sava, man. I appreciate this, my super chat. Big up to the panel. Henry would be the biggest Spurs YouTuber in no time. Charlie's my boy. Love Rums. Big up Babs and Saeed. Top panel with great knowledge. Big up to you, my guy, man. 100%, bro. Love for the super chat. And you'll be seeing Sava as well on this channel as well soon. So people, appreciate that, bro. Charlie, it's been a pleasure, man. Let them know where they can find you. Your channel will be in the link in the description as well. But big up to you, guy.
Nah, thanks for having me on, bro. I'm over on Chelsea Fan TV with Lewis and all those lot. And then obviously I've got my own channel as well, which is Blue. You can follow doing there, mainly all transfers and stuff at this point in time, but obviously into the season.
Yeah. Big up to you. Big up to you, man. Robs, it's been a pleasure. Big up to you, man. Enjoy your stag do tonight, man.
Thanks. But no, just to quickly two channels I'm on quite often. Never a Foul with Cads and Daps, bigging them up. And Big Six Banter with Monty as well. They're two channels you will catch me on. Don't have my own channel yet, but we'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. People, I'll be back later on tonight for some latest transfer video. But yeah, man, enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you later on tonight, people. Take care, guys.